Yeah, welcome one and all. We are back for another episode of Unscripted Liberation Codes.
What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Yeah, man,
How you
Alex,
feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. But dude, you did an amazing fucking job on that introduction video. With the music and the graphics and putting our faces in the fucking astronaut suits, and that's
Oh,
awesome.
bro, thank
I
you.
love
Yeah.
that. The, the astronaut playing the guitar, fucking jamming out before
Just
jumping out. Fucking awesome, man.
it's just a general, just kind of fuck you vibe too. Everything.
That's great.
Can't wait to debut. We also commissioned a custom theme song, so
Mhm.
that's
Mm,
slated to debut next
yeah,
week. So super excited about that.
and
Oh my
that's what I
god!
was thinking about when we were watching that video. I was thinking about how it's gonna feel watching that clip with the music, and we got two versions. One's with the guns and the helicopters, and one's with no guns and helicopters. And I was just thinking, like, okay, what? Maybe no guns and helicopters, I
Oh
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, just because it's like, our video is like cosmic consciousness and like high vibe, and then we're gonna have like guns blasting off in the
But we did choose to log into the shit sphere of a realm. Like, I
yeah,
mean, if
yeah, yeah,
if if life incarnations are like logging into video games, we kind of logged into Grand Theft Auto a little bit, so it
yeah,
could be
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
fitting.
yeah. Well, the reason why I was all about like having guns and lasers and like kung fu fighting sound effects in the song was
Hmm.
because of like the movie The Matrix, and The Matrix is all about consciousness and the reality of things and waking up out of the dream spell. And there are programs within this inverted, perverted matrix construct, and there are agents, that agents with guns and with fighting skills that will come after you if you're waking up out of the program and fucking changing the energies and stuff. And so that's the main reason why I was like, okay, the our theme song has to have fucking guns and like seems like, but no visuals of that happening because it's in the background. It's like most of it is like psychically done.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, where it's kind of like you're the only one locally or nearby picking up on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kind of like when I had my Man in Black episode in Seattle. Did I tell you about that?
Refresh me.
So I have this like night where I'm on a business trip to Seattle, and it's the downtown Seattle core, so like there's tons of people in suits, right? But I have this one moment in the evening where I'm walking back to my hotel after kind of a cosmic experience. I would just like walk around, and it's probably a little toasty on pot, and but like not that much, you know. And there was just um this guy walks by in a suit, abnormally tall, very thin, very bald, but had a hat. If that, like, you could just tell there's just like no hair on the sides or anything.
Hmm,
And there
hmm.
was just like a suck you in, like menacing energy, and it like blew right by me. And I was just like, my reaction in any of these moments is to just make like fucking eye contact because I mean, when you're on
Uh-huh.
the street, you don't have other options. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, if you shrink away like a violet,
Right.
you kind of project weakness. So,
Yeah.
I was just like, "What?" And it really was just like, like,
Dang.
yeah, and it was wild, and and you can't really attribute it to like, oh, just a guy in a suit, because I'm like, yeah, there were like eight other guys in suits. Like, it's not that was
Uh-huh.
like menacing or weird. It was just like this general vibe. So, um, and I had had like a cosmic moment right before, so it was almost like I'm here to be a little menacing, and I'm like, tits out, bro. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't care. So it was kind of cool. But anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
I had
Seattle's
that happen.
a weird spot, and there's a lot of underground things happening beneath the surface out there. I've only been there once, but um, I think it's one of the lesser explored areas in the country where there's a lot of shadow government shit going on over out there, and not just Washington. itself, but also across the peninsula where you live, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Seattle's just like a big main city part where there's the corporations, international corporations, the law firms, and uh, tech businesses or whatever the fuck is out there, but like big money, big buildings, huge fucking ruling the world kind of shit is operating out of Seattle. And and then, there's a massive port out there that's where ships are coming in and out constantly, from across the Pacific. And then and before Seattle, that peninsula area, then we have a massive, massive, massive national forest, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I- And over there is like and this is like, I don't have any like empirical evidence of any of this yet. This has just been off of like all of my psychic, inputs and experiences from the times I have moved through that space. And yeah, that whole forest area, there's military shit going on beneath the hush. There's human trafficking stuff going on, like a lot of human trafficking stuff going on over there. And then Seattle is like international business corporation, like it's yeah. Do you have any of the pictures available on your computer to pull up that you were sending me like years ago when you were in Seattle? Like,
Oh, I shared them recently on Facebook. That's a topic unto itself. I had this skyscraper in downtown Seattle, and it was surrounded. There was esoteric shit all throughout. This Japanese designer designed this in 1988 or 1989. It was called City Center, spelled RE at the end. And it had like a brass dial, brass dial, brass dial, brass dial anchoring all four sides of the skyscraper. And they were like really like esoteric. And then it also had like blown glass art display of whale like whale bones, and then there was like a human skeleton inside, which is just like, this is like the art I have to see every day coming into work. Like, it's not like a happy flower. And then the skeleton had like swirlies and kind of weird symbols all over it. And there was an agreement to like never update these things. Like it was just like, this is the way, like this is the architect's intent. And very like sundials, and lots of like astrological like
yeah,
constellation-y things everywhere.
wasn't
And
there wasn't there like a statue of an astronaut or something too, or no, or is that
but
just
that was on the sundials, funny
oh,
enough.
yeah.
Like and god, what else was there? Yeah, all four sundials. Man, I really wish I had this like squirreled away. It's on here somewhere. I really should tee them up, but
I've always been really curious to like explore all of that deeper, and I just haven't had the time or just too many other things going on in like the present, here and now. But we should explore that at some point
a
and
little bit, because I would
really
just
peel
walk
all
around the
that back
building.
together. I remember
I
I
w-
remember the day when you were sending me all the pictures on my phone, and this was like years ago. And that was like, like within the first year where you and I started hanging out and being friends. And that's like when you were sending me that. That's why at first I was like, I don't know, is he trying to tell me he's an agent? It's like, yeah, I was like,
well, or like in the belly of the beast. What the
I know,
fuck?
I know, I know. But that was just like at first, because like in what world were like you and I supposed to hook up, you know what I mean? And become friends. Like gay white dude working in corporate America, and like poverty Mexican kid, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like
Yeah,
really
it doesn't fucking make sense. Like if they make a movie about this, they're gonna be like, this is written really bad. It's really stupid. It's really unlikely. And we're like, sorry. I don't know.
but thank God
Dorothy
for
just walks into a
Facebook,
lot of honeypots. What can I tell you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
There was
thank
this one time
go
the
ahead.
building had, you know how buildings in North America don't have floor 13?
Right.
This one did have floor 13, and it had like Ascension Financial or something. So it was just some like hedge fund or Ascent Financial. And so I like walk around floor 13, and there's hallways, and then like, enter, right? And I'm not going to go in or anything. I'm like, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And so I walk around and I'm like, what's on floor 13? And somebody comes out of that financial thing. They're like, can I help you? Are you lost? And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I work upstairs. I just, hi.
Wow.
But there was just this like, the fuck are you doing here? We're fucking
Uh-huh.
watching you. And I'm like, sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I go where I want.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So,
That's fun.
but when you said underground, did you literally mean, that like there was a whole Seattle underground, right?
No, no, like
Oh, you didn't know
Portland, like
this?
just like in Portland, there's like a whole underground, like out in Portland over there.
Yeah, you can even take the tour. So, Seattle built its like ostensibly the story is Seattle built itself on top of itself. It burned down in 1889. Then they were like, okay, we're on a swampy marsh. So we got like floor one, and then we got like, we're going to build like a decoy floor one, and then we'll have the underground, and then we'll fill in with like landfill shit. And then so Seattle built itself on top of itself.
That's
You can
crazy.
tell this. Yeah, but I mean, it's also like a huge trafficking, like
Right.
drug and human trafficking hub, like
Huh?
spot, just like Portland was. And then you can tell when you walk on the sidewalk that they'll
Is
have the little,
like Portland is.
yeah, like present tense.
Yeah.
Seriously. Even walking through the airport, like I had a human trafficking lawyer who's like, if you go and you board a flight, you are likely walking by a victim of human trafficking on your way to the gate with your Starbucks. Like it's that prevalent. And I'm like, ooh, that shook me to the core. I was like, ooh, but
Yeah.
yeah, the shit's hidden in plain sight. And then it is kind of funny that there's all these
Just
things
suddenly
like,
thought of like all the people that I like notice more prominently when moving around airports. Maybe they were being trafficked or something. Maybe they
kind
were
of, yeah.
sending that energy, you know. Um,
Because I mean, there's a frequency, right? Like
yeah, yeah,
desperation,
yeah.
panic.
Mm.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And it's
Sometimes,
just funny because it's you just don't expect it there, so you just dismiss it.
right.
You're just like, oh, I put it out of sight, out of mind.
Well, and you know, you're so focused on yourself when you're in an airport because you're like, fuck, where am I going? Where's my flight? Am I making it on time? I'm tired, my feet, or blah, blah, blah. Like when you're in an airport, you're just engulfed in your own world, you know? You don't really have the time to look around and really, you know, suss out what you're feeling or what your environment is. And you just think everyone's doing the same thing, you know?
Totally, yeah. I mean, I've always liked airports because I feel like they're multi-dimensional nodes. People are coming, people are going, and then this kind of like you and I and our unexpected like who the fuck thought of this friendship?
Right.
Like you just get like you have a priest and you have like an old lady and you got like this other rando, and sometimes I like that frequency sharing because it's just like
Yeah,
you would never put these
yeah,
people in a room in
yeah.
any other context except for they're waiting for United flight like 123.
Mhm.
So that I've always liked that, but it's also a cacophony of energy too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that allows for someone to kind of squeak by who's like, "Help me!" And I mean,
Mhm.
what do you do? Like, I mean, there are methods one can deploy, but also I think things that used to be hidden in plain sight are coming to the fore. They're being
Mhm.
nakedly exposed,
Oh, yeah.
whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
Um,
Dude, today, this morning, when I was scrolling through Instagram, I saw this video, and I think it was like an American news broadcast. Um,
mhm.
it had to do something like politically, like somebody, like a local mayor or some shit in some city somewhere in America, and there's like the political official or like the main person that's, you know, giving this big news, and there's a bunch of people, public, you know, what do you call them? Pedestrians, civilians, a bunch of civilians all scattered around to be present for this event. And the camera moves to this, you know, focuses on this boy, like this young boy with glasses, and this older man who seems to be his father. They look very identical, seems to be his father. And like the father comes around the boy and he's just like this to his son and then like bites his ear and like tugs on his ear while biting it. And then
Oh,
the son goes like this, waving at the camera, and then the dad goes you
Oh,
know,
like he
and
just was like caught
dude,
on film.
he was caught on film. And so like how you said, the darkness is more coming to the light and shit like that. It's like, they're slipping, these fucking evil people, these possessed people, these demons, these intruders, these imposters. Yeah, the spell is over. People are waking up. And like
That's what it is.
was it a week ago or 2 weeks ago where the media started saying that people are suddenly experiencing this like disorder
Oh
where they're
yeah.
where they're seeing people as demons or like demon aliens, like
Yeah, so like, which when I read that, I'm like, that's like the movie They Live. They're like, there's this neurological condition that causes you to see people, and it's like elongated eyes, like elongated, almost Joker-like mouth. And they're like, there's this phenomenon that's causing people to see people as demons. I'm like, is this kind of covering your ass in the event that like it's like they live, and then
mm-hmm,
things just kind of
mm-hmm,
the
mm-hmm.
veils drop or whatever.
Right.
It
Well,
was
I
very
love
so
that
bizarre.
last scene and They Live when it's over and they break the satellite that's sending the frequencies, keeping everybody in the hypnotic spell, and that prostitute like sees the guy that she just slept with and it's the alien and he's like, "What, baby?" with a cigarette.
What's wrong, baby? He's got the lizard face. I am seeing people notice, like somebody posted a photo of a televangelist. He's like, "Does this guy look like a demon?" I'm like, "Yeah, all these guys like they
Yeah,
have
yeah,
for
yeah.
years." And
I
so
think I
all of a
know who
sudden,
you're
people,
talking about. Yeah.
yeah, and then also the head of the Mormon Church also has that just very like
Uh-huh.
demon like evil ass face, and it's
Uh-huh.
really hard. You can't chalk it up to like cute old man or like oh grandpa. Like there's just like something's wrong with this dude,
Yeah.
and people are finally just picking up on it.
Mm-hmm.
I've also noticed that like there's weird elements that show up in media. Like just this week, two horses got loose at Buckingham Palace, and one is a dark horse and one is a white horse, and the white horse was slathered in, they thought blood, but it looked too bright red. So
Uh-huh.
splotchy, bright red. And they're just running down the street, down the city of London's financial center. And somebody's like, oh, horses got out. And it was just like this. And I'm watching it, it's happening. And I'm like, this feels like a weird ritual. I don't know what it signifies. I don't know to what intent. I don't know why it's being shown, but it almost looked like a message or symbol being telegraphed on the airwaves. Um, and I'm almost, and I sat there and I tried to like figure it out, and then I'm like, you know what? A, that message wasn't for me, otherwise I'd know what it meant. And then B, that type of like sly symbology is on the way out the door. Like we're just kind of
Mhm.
not doing that anymore. We're not doing this like hypnosis. Like I'm gonna show you these visual identifiers to elicit a cue in you or whatever. Like
Mhm.
that shit's over. It worked maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 50 years ago,
Yeah.
millennia ago. It's not working now. We're not consenting to it anymore, frankly.
Good. If you see me
Good.
make funny
I'm tired.
faces, sorry. If you see me making funny faces at all, it's my fucking allergies and like,
Aren't they they're yeah, they're bad right now. I just watch all
especially
this
out
like
here. Out here the pollen is just way different than out west, which is where I've been most of my life. And there's one tree in particular that I don't remember experiencing in the west, called the tulip tree. And these things get fucking massive. And they and,
mhm.
and by the time the summer hits, they bloom these beautiful big flowers. But throughout the entire season, they're just pollinating like crazy. They cover everything in this thick, heavy, dense yellow pollen, and like it's literally trying to kill me, bro. Like my throat clenches, I can't swallow, I can't breathe, my like bro, dude,
Oh man, I'm
uh,
sorry.
it's
Open to my world,
off.
motherfucker.
It's all right, and I'm like I'm not from this planet or something. Like what the fuck is going on?
I've wondered that. Like, why is hay fever? Because you're basically essentially super allergic to plant cum. That's basically what it
Right.
comes down to.
Like all these plant jizz that I can't handle.
Flying through the air. Um, I always have wondered that. Like, why am I allergic? Like, if I'm part of Gaia, if I'm part of this whole ecosystem, shouldn't I just be like fine with it? And I'm like, oh, I'm from somewhere else. That must be what it is.
Yeah, yeah. I well, I think
Confirmation.
I think my allergies, because I'm the only one in my family that deals with this, so I don't see it as like a genetic thing. Like no one in my family, my blood relatives, deals with allergies like me, and I think it's coming from some like deep trauma that I'm not aware of, that created um, this response in me. So, I
Oh,
mean.
great! Now I'm gonna have to do some shadow work because I mean, same for me. Like everyone else is just a okay, and then there was, maybe there's the super bloom in SoCal, and I walk
Mhm.
out the door, and it's just like, like I'm just like
Uh-huh.
puffy, and I'm just like, oh, I'm
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
great. Now I'm gonna have to do some hypnotic regression or something like that.
Right, right. What
I'm like,
happened?
I don't know if I want to see. Um, oh my god, we're dark.
Speaking speaking of like seeing and shadow work and regressions and all of that, um, you, gosh, bro, we're gonna be at that event soon in July, and
Oh yeah.
I don't know all who watches our videos, but if you guys aren't aware of yet, there's gonna be a big event in July called Full Disclosure Now. I'm gonna be a speaker at that event, giving a speech titled "What the Fuck Happened to Me in the SSP," which is the secret space program. It's going to be great. There's a lot of speakers out there, a lot of amazing people, vendors. Alex and I are going to have a booth. I'm going to have a booth with Shelly giving readings. So we would love to interview and talk to any of you guys. But since that has been locked in the books for me, it started this acceleration in me, piecing the story together, in a more congruent way because I've only been dealing with it bits at a time, and like, yeah, it's coming together, I don't know what I'm trying to say with that, but without, yeah, anyways.
Well, puzzle pieces are clicking into place.
They're
Well, that's
clear.
awesome. It's where attention goes, energy flows, right? Like that old sort
Exactly.
of, and you're kind of looking inward, looking backward, and things are coming to the fore. And maybe it's time. Like it
Hmm.
shouldn't have been, SSP stuff shouldn't have been obvious 5 years ago, 10 years ago, mainly out of like maybe self preservation
Yeah.
or protecting oneself, or you got goofballs here and there with eyes on you, but now's the time to be tits out, so to speak. So
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
yeah,
it is. So, I'm excited about putting together this presentation, because
awesome.
they're going to give me an hour and 45 minutes. Can you believe that? Like me talking for almost 2 hours. That's gonna, that's
Yeah, because I will fucking say, you're like, bro, I just uploaded an update, and every time you start, you're like, this is gonna be a short little video, and I think you have intention to make it like 10 minutes, and it's 55.
yeah,
So I'm like,
no,
I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be good.
no, I'm not worried about the time, about not being able to fill the time. I'm happy about it because I'm like, oh, this is going to be ample amount of time to really display everything on how I've come to this point where I'm at now, with this realization and this acceptance that this is a part of me. This has been a part of my human experience in this incarnation, you know? And I think I like, not to um put myself like in the spotlight or anything like that, but
Why
I
not?
I think it's I think the point where I'm like my particular story, it's not complete, where a lot of folks, they remember everything so well, and I feel like where I'm at is helping bridge a connection to other people that still don't really know, just like
Mhm.
how when I first came in, I was just into this information out of curiosity and mostly sort of entertainment at some points. And then gradually it's like, no, I'm drawn and attracted to this because there's something there in my human experience. And then boom, because it's so easy to not realize the Looney Tunes program. So, Mana Soul Healing, she's lives out in Australia, I think. Um, and oh, Felicia, you don't remember it all either. It's they did a number to us. They fucking did a number to our brains. And so, but Mana, she was messaging me one time, talking about how she remembers as a kid being. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be telling your story, but there's a connection between the experiences we've had. And she was like, "Yeah, Looney Tunes." And I remember being in this chair and like being forced to like watch Looney Tunes and being in this Looney Tune holograph experience. And then I sent her that video that I made years ago about Space Jam, and the fucking Looney Tunes, and it fucking blew her mind. Like, oh shit, like it was like, she's like, yes, go for it, go for it. Thank you. Um,
It's kind of
because
creepy because just this last night I had a dream that we were trying to pull up Looney Tunes on the TV and couldn't or something. And I just remembered it as you're telling me this. Woo! Um,
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna share, I'm gonna share that Space Jam clip in my
yeah,
and break it down and just where I'm at and be very real and not like lie or make shit up saying like, yeah, I know for sure I was in this program and in this program and I was on this spaceship and they took me to this planet and I was a part of this war, because those kinds of things I don't know yet, I that stuff hasn't come to me yet. But what I do know is like the obvious experiences I have had my whole life that open me up to the realization that some fuckery has happened to me, you know, and I don't remember, but I'm remembering,
that's awesome. I don't want you to feel compelled to like feel like you have to entertain with like big tales or anything like that, because there's a lot of we see this in the psychic community, in the remote viewing community, where somebody will be like, um, oh, I like the Teresa Caputos get a show. Teresa Caputo's a Long Island medium, and she's got more of an act going than she does like she has real abilities, or she
Mm,
probably has abilities, but
mhm,
you have this where you had Corey Good. You and I sat in the audience while Corey Good was like blah 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 blah, and then as it turns out I'm like, I really doubt you had these experiences,
yeah,
or if you did, you're trying to like trademark them, and then that's just like really poor form, which means you don't believe, and you went on trial saying that it's all fictional, it's all made up of his
yeah,
own personal creation. And I'm like,
fraud,
even if you're yeah, yeah. And even if you are a true experiencer and you're doing that, I'm like, you invalidated everything you said.
no heart.
Um, yeah, no, no, none at all.
Hmm, hmm.
So it's hard to be like a survivor or experiencer or like veteran of it and then
Yeah,
come out and then have a dipshit like that
yeah,
pull
and
something
and
like
then
that.
it damages the movement.
Yes,
It
I
it
think it's
it
meant to.
it deteriorates its validity. It makes it more challenging for it to reach a higher critical mass when that sort of stuff happens. And one of the things that I've noticed in other people, and I don't know if it's like a conscious thing or whatnot, or just like part of human nature of wanting to know more, like people want the big story, people then, because eventually people kept asking, what are the blue avians saying, like what's happening, like give us answers, what are the blue avians saying, what's happening with the Galactic Federation, where are we now, why hasn't it happened yet, because then these people telling their supposed stories are also prophesizing at the same time, and saying that these major things are happening within movements with galactic federations and white hats and black hats, and like who the fuck really knows, um so like that's the kind of shit that I don't, that I'm not about,
Yeah.
you know and even when we saw, like, remember when we saw Patricia Rado Copples, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
even know if I say her name right,
No,
but
Patricia Cota Robles.
Kodo Robles. Shit.
Everyone's trying to look her up. Like, what are you talking about? She does
Well,
era of light or era of
era,
peace?
era
Era of peace.
Era of Peace. Well, that day when we went to go see her over in Portland, there was a woman that we were like walking in a group from the parking lot to the place, and I had a small conversation with her. We were exchanging words, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of getting tired of her." And I'm like, "Why? What do you mean?" She's like, "Well, it's just the same old stuff every time. Like she hasn't come out with anything new and like blah blah blah. And I'm like, you don't get it. Like you're missing the point. Like you don't
Yeah,
get it. You're chasing a high, you're chasing a story, and you have some like high, expectation, and you want like a grandiose, you want to be taken to this grandiose like adventure when you're like
passively.
passively, you're not realizing like the story and what's going on, and she's not gonna like, it's like musical writers, when the producing companies are like, you need to come up with the fucking next hit single. And they're like, I'm not even feeling it right now. Like, this is my recess time. I'm on downtime. I'm on me time. Like, don't push me to make a song right now. I don't have it in me. But then they're like, you have to, you're under fucking contract. And then they make this fucking song and it's not as good, but it follows the formula of a hit single. So it still makes it, but it's doesn't have that heart in it. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes like in this movement we do the same thing to people who put themselves out there and speaking publicly about their experiences, their contacts, their connections, their channelings, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a human nature thing.
It's also a modern, I think, North American thing. There's a passivity. I expect to go to the cinema or watch TV and be entertained to have it arrive to me in a fully formed concept. And it's a little bit bottom bitch, in my opinion. I mean, I'm just going to kind of say it because in times like Lemuria and Atlantis, you had an active connection to spirit, God force, the cosmos down below, everything. Like you had your own portals within you, right? So you could go and summon intelligence or summon what's going to happen next through your spirit guides, maybe your dead grandma, you can have like a conversation with her. And since we've been cut out from that, there's been sort of this, like during the Piscean age, as we we're entering
Mhm.
the age of Aquarius, there's been a lot of like messianic, like I need a savior complex. Someone come save me. And there's a little bit of a like you kind of need to be ready to save yourself or be in the frequency to be sovereign enough to just not consent to be fucked with a little bit,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So everybody's just kind of waiting. Like even that song from the 80s, I need a hero. Like
Uh-huh.
there's just kind of that like just passively like, I'm a princess and come whisk me away and off we go on a horse. And it's a little bit like it's a little, you need to kind of be directional in
They
this
trained us.
multiverse. Yeah, they did, and conditioned
They
and
they they
programmed.
con they
Yeah.
conditioned and trained us,
Yeah.
every story has to have an adversary, a hero, a climatic point, then the decline, and then the conclusion, the solution, the ending, and they conditioned us with our amazing entertainment system.
Yeah. And
You-
well, it's a beautiful hypnotic, and we're naturally a storytelling species. The universe itself is a storytelling machine, so to speak. Machine's not the best word to use, but it's the kind of the word that works for right now. So to receive stories on the airwaves and in books and in throughout all diverse types of media is something we're drawn to, but it is mainly full of like directional kind of programming, or has been.
Mhm.
And imagine the beautiful media we'll have like when that yoke is off our necks, and then true human creativity can just really spring forth and be like, I'm telling this great story. I don't have like 50 Hollywood producers saying it won't work, which is so funny because they don't know what will work. I think that's so great. Like all these beautiful, you'll notice these there will be these times where people there's some iconic or amazing show, they have this unlikely character that everyone's endeared to, and they're like, yeah, every producer said don't go with this person, or this person's too fat, or blah blah blah. And then like they actually get on the creator fights for it,
Yeah,
and then everyone's in love with it, and it's like, what do these fucking producers know? And
yeah.
they don't know what makes a good story. They don't know what like tugs at the heartstring of humanity. They know what programming they kind of need to instill.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's why I love Kanye, because his almost his whole career, he was told you can't do that, you can't make music this way, you can't have this kind of tempo or this kind of beats or whatever. And he was like, fuck that, I'm gonna make music however I want. And every time, he switched it up in producing the next album, and it was always like the next fucking, trend of music. That's why he's a fucking that's why he's a G. That's why he's a legend in what he does. And he's a Gemini. So I'm biased, Team Gemini all the fucking way.
Yeah, and I can't. God, I can't swing a cat by its tail and not hit a Gemini. I don't know what it is about Aquarius and Gemini, but
Mhm.
yeah,
Well,
it's
we're the
like,
best. We're the best friends of the zodiac.
are we? That must be it. Because I'm like, I don't get you. I'm not you. I'm nothing like you. But damn, this just fits and works. I don't get it. But oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think we're coming up to a moment of economic realignment is probably the most gentle way I can put it. But there's just some, like, we're hitting this like breaking point, this revolution point. It could go, the digital currency route. I think that'll be floated and people will be like, that doesn't work. We're not doing it. And there'll be more of a everyone can just some system where everyone can just do their highest and best use, you know. Oh, this is Peace Dealer and Kanye are Gemini bros. See there, yeah, all three of
Oh
them, right?
yeah, Angel Clan.
That's a Angel Posse,
Yeah,
Angel Clan, yeah. Um,
Gemini's the angel of the zodiac.
oh, awesome! That's amazing. And what Aquarius is like the extraterrestrials of the zodiac.
Yep.
Yeah,
Aquarius,
pretty much.
the alien, the extraterrestrial. Uh,
Hmm. Yeah.
and Libra is the double agent. You know,
Oh,
Libra is assigned to like the organizations that like police time travel. Both Libra and Capricorn are like super agents. Um, yeah.
funny. Okay, well I have a lot of placements in Capricorn. So I have this like Aquarius, fuck you, I do what I want nature, but the Capricorn like do, you know,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
like,
Uh-huh.
and then those two kind of fight. And it happens every time. Like when I was part of the gay underground at BYU and I showed up and then people were like, are you from the honor code office? And I'm like, no, I'm one of you. And I'm like, God damn it, why do I have such narc energy? Like they're like, are you writing our name down? And I'm like, no. Turns out but there was a narc and it was someone else. So they were sniffing. This kid got caught with porn, and so the BYU honor code office made him show up to the meetings and get people's names and like, and I'm like, I'm here to make friends. Do you? And they can only do stuff to students. This event was at a public university next door.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. So long story short, sometimes I put off that energy, and that's just sad because I'm just like, damn
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And I can't get away with shit. Like I tried to prank call when I was a teenager, and the guy's like, I have star 69, asshole. And I'm like, mother, I can't even have like hijinks as a kid without just like,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So I had to operate with my nose clean. So anyway,
What's your moon sign again? Your moon is Capricorn also?
Cancer rising. Yeah. Moon and Capricorn,
Cancer rising moon in Capricorn.
I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah. I always get
Mhm.
that mixed up. Lost seas, yeah. So the Cancer's like, oh, I have the feelings. Wah. I'm like, ooh, put them down. Put them in my bottle. Put them in the
Yeah.
water
Well,
jug.
Cancer is the healer, Cancer is the nurturer.
Uh,
Cancer is the empath that wants to nurture and bring healing and tend to. Cancer is the sign of the mother and the womb where the baby is created. So, the cancering archetype is very nurturing, very healing. It's high priest, high priestess energy, very very powerful psychic energy. And then Aquarius is like a cosmic king. The fixed signs are like a royal quality, and being Aquarius, the alien, cosmic, galactic. So this is like galactic king with high priest healing qualities, and with the Capricorn moon, special class agent. So it's like, yeah, high being here. You know.
because I do feel subversive, like wormed my way into this realm to dismantle this artificial shitty matrix. What sucks
LOL.
about veils? What is it? I can't believe I'm a double agent. I'm so disappointed in me.
That's so funny. Okay, Libra rising, Capricorn sun, Aquarius moon. Oh yeah, you are a total double agent. Yeah. Yep, Libra. So Libra is like the agent that needs to keep balance, And so, you don't really know what side they're playing on, and they don't even always know what side they're playing on. All they know is that their programming is to balance the order, you know, of
Oh,
light and dark, So they're double agents, which is why Libra is so charming and can throw hella shade at you in a charming way where you receive it as a compliment. But they speak passively, they speak indirectly, they can speak directly, but they're also like throwing in a lot of vibrational nuances for the subconscious. And then Capricorn sun, this is like elite agent where you're policing the quantum rules of the universe, of the reality. This is, yeah, elite special agent. And then with the Capricorn moon, alien. So there's a quality about your soul that is very high frequency, that is able to allow that Libra embodiment of the double agent, and then the Capricorn spirit of policing, to be at that high level there. So yeah, it's
that's
pretty.
amazing. You just read Queen Victor for filth. Um, but that's interesting. You bring up like you're the double agent, but in terms of like bringing it back to balance. So maybe if there's like a little bit of too much light, and that's nice and peaceful and sweet, there could be a stagnation there where there's no sort of irritant to propel growth or development or something. So then that agent comes in and like creates a fallen timeline or shifts it to adds a little bit of darkness to the energy. And in a place like this where it's a beautiful and heavenly realm, Earth, but it's
Mhm.
shrouded in an artificial matrix of darkness. You're coming in as that double agent to bring it back to more. It is imbalanced right now. It is imbalanced right now, and you're bringing it back in balance.
Mhm.
So that's kind of amazing. Right place, right time. So
Yep.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I'm such a savage, with my nose blowing. Yep, yep.
You're
But
blowing out the toxins.
yeah, I'm blowing it out. Gosh. Anyways, I really like this session because it's very chill, this live today. And you guys, before we went live and we were talking, we're like, what are we going to talk about? Do we have a subject or whatever? And we're like, wait a minute, this is fucking unscripted liberation codes. We don't need no script. We don't
Yeah.
fuck run it, go live, we'll just flow.
It turns into the best little salon. Like everyone showed up. You're reading people for filth in the comments. We're just kind of talking about matters of the day, sipping our tea, spilling the tea. So no, this is great. This is more. This is the Mario that everybody is enraptured with when you show up to an event like a Starseed event in Sedona or something, and everybody's like, I don't know what his deal is. I don't get it, but I need more. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, someone mentioned the Peace Dealer. I've had quite a few readings from the Peace Dealer over the years. I haven't had one in a while, but one of the first ones I've ever had with him was like January 2020, like before shit was going down. And it was a recorded reading that he sent to me. And dude, it was an amazing reading. And actually it helped me become more free because he saw me in a way where I was like, okay, that reading just gave me the permission and what I already know in my soul to just say, fuck it. And one of the things that he pointed out is that, the way he said it, his words is that I am the crack of the magical effect. So it's like a lot of people try to bring in, the magic, or they try to do things or whatever, but they don't have that actual effect to like bring it to spark to make it happen. And like my chart, my vibration is the effect, and it's like crack effect. And so
Crack like crack cocaine or crack like
it's
crack in an egg?
like crack cocaine, like really
I can
good,
see that.
like addicting and really good, and it's gonna hit hard. And I loved that he said that, and I that never went away, because when he was pointing that out about my chart, because I'm a Gemini sun, Gemini moon, Scorpio rising, and a lot of other things going on in my chart, and he was just like, yeah, he's like, a lot of people try to be magical and have the experiences, but they don't have what you have, and you actually provide the effect of it. And also what he said in the reading was, um due to other things in my chart, I've gone my whole life severely undermined by other people, and as a result been conditioned to severely undermine myself. And this
Hmm.
was this was when I was going through the height of my Saturn return, so this was 4 years ago now. And he just helped point things out in that chart where I was like, wow, that's thank you, bro. Angel clan all the way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you need that mirror too, because you can do a lot of self reflecting. You can like look inward, but if you're not, sometimes you just need an outsider to kind of be like, "This is my assessment based on what I'm seeing," and it's just like, "Thank you, needed
Hmm.
that." Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a fresh pair of eyes. It's why we incarnate. Like we could be
Right.
part of source consciousness, and it's an everlasting oneness,
Hmm.
but there's no there's nothing outside of the oneness. So I think we like have periods of oneness, and then we come into these moments of individuality.
Hmm.
And you're an individual, and individuals like looking in on you. You're looking in on individuals in the chat here,
Yeah.
and it's yeah, it,
Yeah.
it, it creates novelty and newness and different experiences. And I think you're here. Like I think it's funny you come in and you're going through the height of Saturn return, and like the whole fucking world is essentially affected by it. like
Right.
it was like that
Right.
was a time to have the
Yeah.
Saturn. Like mine was, I guess, a few years prior, if I'm doing the
Uh-huh.
math
Uh-huh.
correctly. But
Well, that's why
yours like
that's
skid
why
marked the world.
that's why Team 1990 are the champions, especially late 1989 going into halfway into 1990. Like these, that soul group born during that time are like heavy weight lifting champions, like boxing, wrestling champions of the universe. And the reason why is because we have Capricorn in its dignity at home. I mean, we have Saturn in Capricorn, and Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. But then we were also born during a rare conjunction of Uranus and Neptune that happens like once every 40, 50, 60 years. So we have that in Capricorn, Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn. And then we have fucking Chiron in Cancer, opposite that Capricorn stellium, and that Chiron is conjunct Jupiter in Cancer, and Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So fucking 1990, we're fucking champions. And then team 60s, like the whole 60s, like if it wasn't for the people born during that entire decade of the 60s, then the next wave of advanced souls such as myself couldn't come in. Yeah, like me. And you too, Alex, you too. But you're not Team 1990. I'm
No.
I'm kidding. I'm being such a fucking ass.
I had to come. I had to come and be like Mario's lady in waiting.
Yeah. Yep. 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 Yeah. That's intense. But
That's
let's see.
great.
Let's see who else put their. So okay. So Mana, you're Aries, Sun, Gemini, Rising, Sag, Moon. So that's uh, Aries is the warrior, Gemini rising. So this is the angel, and Sag moon. This is an ascended soul. So the sun would be like the spirit. So you have a warrior fighting spirit to you, and then the rising is the embodiment, the physical embodiment, and that's Gemini. So there's an angelic quality to your physical being, your physical presence that is angelic and very youthful. Gemini risings, Gemini suns, Gemini moons, they age very well. These are the people that, as they get older, they seem to be getting younger. There's a youthfulness to them, and that's that angelic quality. And then with the Sag moon, that's an ascended soul. So that's, the moon. one of the ways I reference the moon is it's your satellite, right? So where your moon sign is like the frequency that your satellite is tuned into, that brings in this intuitive, deeper wisdom, through your emotional awareness, your emotional center, the moon qualities. So Sag Moon, this is having an ascended, soul awareness that picks up on higher wisdom from, beyond the galaxy. It's in the constellation of Sagittarius, where we have the center of the Milky Way galaxy, the galactic center. That is, and Sag is the archer. So, and also Sag is the opposite of Gemini. So yeah, that's amazing. So you're definitely an angel clan warrior. I'm balanced. I like that.
Isn't that the
Yeah.
literal scales, like the
Yeah,
balance?
yeah,
Yeah,
Libra is the scales. Yep. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. And that's
love it.
I love the Aries sun there, because it's, having the Aries sun, that fighting spirit, that initiative spirit. It's like that solar energy is, very pure and raw, coming from the Gemini rising, and it's coming from this advanced, wisdom from the Sag moon. And so that sun in Aries gives you a lot of energy to move forward and take action from this higher angelic frequency, that you embody. So this is yeah, it's really nice, like a fine bottle of wine. That's so fascinating. Thank you. I'll have, what you say, I'll have a reading.
Oh, we're both clicking on
Oh, quit clicking, bro.
it.
Yeah. So, before we got on live, I've been working out in my yard, digging a massive fucking hole right now. Um, I live on a hill, so I want to build a garden, but I want the ground flat and level. So we've built our barricade, and I've just kind of been digging into the fucking earth,
Mhm.
and getting it started took a lot of fucking time. But now that I've like set things in how I'm gonna be flowing, like my strategy, I'm able to move a lot quicker. But I'm covered in mud right now, and it's raining. So it's just it feels so good. Like the weather is beautiful. Can't see the sky. It's just all covered in clouds. And then there's just like light drizzle here and there that's just showering and sprinkling for like 15 minutes at a time. And I'm just like, I got my boots on and just in the mud and just getting all fucking dirty, and the chickens, and like life is good, man. It feels really good. I just feel so connected and grateful. And anytime I need to take a breath, I just like stop and just look at the amazing view I have, and see the hawk flying, hear the geese flying, and then little wind blowing in the trees. And and then my allergies fucking build up, and I'm sneezing for like 10-15 minutes. But it's great, man. It's glorious.
That's fucking sweet, dude. That's awesome. That's real living. That's real human. Like you're connecting with the soil, connecting with the sky, away from a screen. You know what I mean? And I think reality is nudging towards more localism, locality. Like you're gonna be more connected with your street, with your community, with your village, and less, receiving beams, because all TV is coming out of DC, New York, Hollywood, these little epicenters. So then that's the totality of everything you're receiving. And getting outside and fucking touching grass for 10 minutes is quite nice. And I think
Oh
that
yeah.
that's what, yeah, I think that's what reality is shifting towards. And I think those who like to wield control over humanity are like, no, no, don't do that. Come back here. And it's like,
Mhm.
nope, too late. You shit the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we started this project like weeks ago, like almost a month ago, and I've only been able to do it like a couple hours at a time, you know, 1-2 days a week. And we have a lot of seedlings that we started months ago, and they're sprouted. They need to get into the ground, and some of our seedlings, our vegetables, are starting to die. So I'm like stressed right now about finishing this fucking thing. I took the day off work. I'm not going to work. I'm gonna dig that all fucking day, all weekend, and get it done so I can get my plants in the ground. Because, when the summer comes, I want fresh tomatoes, squash, onions, all the things that we're getting ready to plant. And um, this whole month of April, dude, I've been like really busy with work on all fronts, with the astrology and with caretaking for my parent, and then my full time job. I've literally just been like waking up, working online with clients, and then leaving, working at my job, coming home, and then in between my free time I'm like cooking dinner here and there, or like taking care of chores I got to do for my mom. And yeah, it's just I've been like busy, and then I haven't been able to exercise at all, you know. I haven't, like, I've just been sitting on my ass, bro, like
Oh,
working, you know what I mean? So my, like, I have a little bit of muscle atrophy right now, and so it's like it feels good. It feels so fucking good to be outside and just like digging and using the muscles and sweating and yeah, but moving, and then Mercury was retrograde the whole month of April, and Mercury just went direct yesterday.
oh,
So, that whole time Mercury retrograde, like the way I wanted my routine to be in life was not the way I wanted it to be. But now that it's going direct, it's like, okay, we're gonna smooth out. Things are gonna, yeah. Anyways.
hell yeah! I feel like we have a good little like group chat going here too. I feel like
Oh yeah.
when we got together during Mercury retrograde, it was like two people, and we're like, oh, it's just us. But it's a good phone call, so I'm in. But yeah, Mercury going direct feels pretty right for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Mercury is going direct at 15 degrees Aries, conjunct the North Node in Aries. And the North Node is destiny, it's fate, it's the future, it's being in alignment with ourselves, and our truth, and moving forward. It's the North Node guides us out of the miasma of our karmic cycles. And so now that Mercury being the mind and processing information, and when Mercury is retrograding, it is a period of reevaluating all of the information and the experiences we've acquired over the previous 3 months or even 6 months, and reevaluating and digesting all of our thoughts, all of the information that has come about, to check in with ourselves and ensure that we are still in alignment with the direction we want to go. If there, and so that's why Mercury, our minds are a little bit different, because we have to check in with ourselves. And now that Mercury is stationed direct, conjunct the North Node, this is our mind completing a process of reevaluating aspects of our identity with the solar eclipse and Chiron in Aries that has been healing. This is, so basically, Mercury stationing direct on the North Node, it has now allowed us to reach this state of mental cognitive understanding and realignment with the direction we want to take forward in our life, that feels more authentic with our mission, with our purpose, with the direction we want to go. And and that really hit hard yesterday, is for me, especially. Like, I gave a reading yesterday to somebody, and the reading went on for like 2.5 hours. And by
yeah.
the end of it, I made a little video talking about it, because the person I gave the reading to knows me very personally, and is a skeptic to astrology and things like that, just because they don't really understand it, but they don't really bash it all that much. They just, they're just unsure of it. And at some point in the reading, they gave me a challenge, and they were like, go back to 1987 in October. And I just, like, okay, 1987 October. And the date that I picked in October was the day, and I had no idea. I just like landed on this day that was a total solar eclipse in Libra back in 1987. And this person was a Libra. And then I blew their fucking mind, because what I was channeling through about their chart, at some point he was just like, stop, 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 stop. Okay, no more, no more. Like, there's no fucking way you could have known any of that. You've now proven to me and explained to me how astrology works. It's fucking real. It's all math. It's science. There's no fucking way. Like, that was incredible.
Oh,
And and like so this is what I mean about Mercury ending its direct period and stationing. I mean retrograde and stationing direct conjunct the North Node, because after that, like the language and the clicking in my mind of me being able to more clearly and confidently express aspects of what of myself that I identify with in my skills and in my purpose, and now I'm able to more confidently and clearly say that I am an intuitive psychic channeler that uses the language and the tools of astrology to speak peace and to speak truth and to speak validation and clarity onto you, using the charts as that, you know. Because even before that, I gave a reading to another guy, and I just went in, like he just let me go, and I just went in, and I was flowing, and I was on a roll. And I was eventually painting this story of like him being a chief in a past life. I was like, your chart really, really screams very loud at me, like chief, like tribal leader, chief, you know? And at the end of it, he was like, whoa, dude, um, I was going to ask about past lives because a couple weeks ago, I was at a sound bath and the drums took me deep into this experience where I was fucking. This was his words. He took him into this experience where he was um, a chief, a leader of an indigenous tribe in the Americas, a chief, and then and he signed a treaty thinking that it was going to be good and bring peace and connection, but it ended up leading to massacring his entire tribe. And he was in this sound bath, like crying and like integrating this like whole past life. But still, because it was something that happened on his own, he wasn't sure if his imagination took him there or if he just created it or whatever, but it affected him very deeply. And then for me to just be in my psychic channel empathic mode and then just like fucking speak exactly what he was experiencing privately, having no knowledge to that, that was very healing in what he's identifying with himself on a soul level. And it's also healing for me in identifying that, holy shit, yeah, like I'm a fucking, and I already know this about myself, but there's, because of my own wounds that I experience a wound of having a lack of confidence in my own skills and gifts, and owning that. So then now I'm at this point with, now that Mercury's end retrograde and conjunct the North Node in Aries, it's like, no, I am an intuitive empath. I am and a channeler, and I
Channeler is a keyword.
streamline. I just streamline. I streamline frequencies that are just flowing and then phew, and then the astrology helps keep me anchored and focused. So, yesterday when these things were clear, I need to own, and because we're in Taurus season right now, and we had the Jupiter Uranus conjunction in Taurus, and Taurus is about values and self-worth and self-esteem. So now it's like, okay, I'm owning this identity. I'm not going to be afraid to claim it, because I've been afraid to claim it of being challenged, and being put on the spot of from somebody being like, okay, well, channel something to me right now if you're a psychic channeler. And like I'm afraid of looking like an idiot in the spot. That's why I've withheld myself back so much. But with this Aries stuff and Mercury and the North Node and then the Taurus Jupiter Uranus conjunction, is like, no, heal that shit, own who you are, boldly, confidently express that and project that into the world, and really integrate this value that you have, this self-worth that you provide, this service. And this
Yes.
is happening for all of us right now, and I'm sharing my experience as an example of how what this month of April has been about.
Well, and I mean, as you authentically embody, so does everyone else in your periphery. Make that contagious, because someone else is going
Yeah.
to be like, hey, I really read, auras and stuff. And that's going to be their niche. Or, you're going to have people with their own specific niches that are like practical, that are esoteric, that are what have you. I myself feel really grateful having had a front row seat watching your progression, because I would just say maybe in 2018, 2019, you would be wowed by people of lesser ability and be like, wow, I mean, I can't believe that one like astrologer gave me the time of day. And I'm like, well, they're a dumbass. Like like you've got the fucking goods and you'd lay it down. And it took you like, it was either private or when you really felt safe and you would let this aspect of you out. And I'd be like, I just got like just blown away with a fire hose of cosmic wisdom and insight. And you would just look at any chart and be like, boop 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 boop. Astrology is a language, and you're more fluent than I think you realize. So to watch you authentically step in and embody this is just like, fuck, 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 yeah. Like it's just like, oh, it's just so right. Like, and it's what the world needs right now too. It just fucking needs it. More of that, and then people need to kind of step away from their patterns and programming, and then be Mario in their own, unique and authentic ways,
Yeah. Yeah.
however that may manifest.
Yeah. Oh man, thank you for that, because you
No, you're
definitely have
welcome.
been front
It's
row witness
true.
of me being more of a timid little bitch beating around the bush, and then like, slowly
Yeah.
gaining confidence, and you just being like my fucking like, G Roll Dog supporter, gassing me up the entire time, like, no, dude, Mario, go, go. Like, for you guys who don't know, like, I used to like really spiral out with anxiety and like, just like these major imbalances going on with myself. And I would call Alex and be like, bro, blah, 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 blah. And Alex would always say, like, dude, you're so used to like the worst shit happening that you like expect it. And you're paranoid and like, you're almost premeditated for things to just always fall apart. And then Alex gave me some key codes and he was like, the opposite of paranoia is pronoia.
Yes.
He would just tell me that all the time when I would start like, losing my shit, and he'd be like, "Dude, pronoia, pronoia," and like
Yeah, I'm
over
like, if
over over time, it like seeped in, and then I was like, "Yeah, pronoia, pronoia, pronoia," and
because I mean, if you're gonna like kind of imagine out of safety or out of like patterns and habits, like if you're gonna imagine as conspiracy, make it a birthday party for you, as
yeah,
opposed to like someone coming to like like bash your knees in or something. And
hmm,
I mean, this realm is hollow fractal in construct. It responds to your input. So as you emotionally emit expectation, the thoughts, emotion, expectation is key. If you expect the worst, you get the worst and you can deal with it. And that's fun. That's a way to play the video game. I think people are tired of playing the video game like that. So you can play the video game differently, where it's like, well, now I'm just expecting like just great things to come my way. And you
yeah,
always see that, right? Like you always see like rich people, like they just get so used to largesse that they just have free shit thrown at them. Like a rich
yeah,
person goes to the Academy Awards, and then there are these like incredible gift bags, and the gift bags have like iPads and crazy
yeah.
gift
What the
certificates
fuck?
and
I
all.
know.
Yeah, isn't that insane? The people who least need them get showered with them. Isn't that crazy? But if you gave these gift bags to like a regular middle class person, they'd be like, holy fuck. Like I just fell into it. But it's expectation. The person emits an expectation of like, I don't know, I just have a lot all the time. And then they just get it. It's really funny. It's crazy how your emotional state of being and expectation dictates reality. It's why there's so much programming. Notice how all these, like, anytime I have somebody, like, I say something like this and somebody's like, oh, contraire, and they'll say some, like turn of phrase or adage or something where they say
Mhm.
something like, what comes up must come down, or all
Yeah,
good things must come to an end. It's like, that's not necessarily true. You just repeat it a
right.
lot
Yeah,
and
you
that's
can't
your
have your cake and
expectation.
eat it too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, which it took me a
Don't
while
curse
to
me.
yeah, exactly. Like, get that off. That's like,
Yeah.
sneezing on me. I'm like, oh, get your snot
Uh-huh.
off me. Like,
Who
no,
created those
no.
fucking spells? Get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. And then all you have to do is just say it with authority, and people are like,
Uh-huh.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Well, shit.
so you just so like I've recently met this friend through a mutual friend. Good guy. I like him. Great guy. I'm glad I know him. I have nothing wrong with him. But he does tickle a part of me. And
Oh,
and
uh-oh.
I've been like going within and like trying to understand. I was like, okay, why? I was like, I love this guy. I see him. I'm happy he exists. I'm happy I know him. But there's like he triggers a little irritation around me. And I've been processing it and I understand it now. And it's nothing too wrong. And I don't give too much energy to it. But based on this conversation, it's like there have been times when we're conversing in a group or whatever where I start talking about some of and I'm love and light, death and darkness. I'm full spectrum, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I was talking about like human trafficking and like darker shit, right? And and he always chimes in around that kind of stuff and gives me the whole thing like, well, I'm kind of over that stuff. Like I don't even experience that in my reality. And he starts talking about how much he's traveled around the world. And this is like an older, retired white dude in his 60s that
So he's a
he-
boomer.
he's
Okay.
a boomer,
He
dude.
bought
So
his house for 7 raspberries. Okay.
Yup,
Okay.
exactly, exactly. He got to travel the world as a white guy, going to temples in India to meditate and experience all these different countries before all this shit started happening. So he has a way different experience of the reality. When I grew up and from poverty, an immigrant parent, and all this sort of stuff. You know what I mean? And so he always chimes in and tries to tell me like that I'm still existing in this lower samsara, because I'm still identifying it and I'm still talking onto it and I'm putting energy to it. And I get what he's saying. But then when he goes and talks about where he's at, like, and it took me a minute to understand it and identifying it. And I'm like, oh, you're spiritual bypassing. That's what you're doing. You're spiritually bypassing everything, not wanting to take any accountability for what's happening to the collective human race and choosing this escape route and gaining the permission to embodiment because you've been to how many different temples where gurus told you this and that on how to perceive all of this. And so you just kept yourself in this container. Good for you. Good for you because you're healthy, you have good routine, you're set in yourself, you're not dealing with a lot of anxiety and nervousness that most other people's are. Good for fucking you. I really appreciate that. But don't come and tell me, that I'm experiencing whatever, blah, 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 because, you're spiritually bypassing and you got to live in a different era as a baby boomer privileged white man who got to experience all of the world before the fucking shit happened. You know what I mean? Um,
Yes.
and I don't know
And
if he's aware of my channel. I think I sent him my YouTube channel before, but if he hears that, it's all good. I'm like
no, he's having too good of a
I
time.
would have eventually said it all to him in person. So like I'm not talking shit behind someone's back. Like eventually, like in the right space, I will find the words to say exactly this to that person. And
It's
yeah,
fine to
anyway.
be said and heard, and quite frankly, like maybe those of the boomer generation need to hear a couple of hard truths because all the privilege they've enjoyed has come from in collective investment. You had incentives to buy a house, you had free or cheap subsidized education, all the shit, and you
Mhm.
thrived. Like you were invested in and given opportunities and pensions and stuff, and
Yeah.
wouldn't you know it, you thrived. You I watered the garden and the garden bloomed with flowers. Like it's a fucking simple equation. And this generation shut the door behind them, stopped investing in infrastructure, so our airports and roads and electric grid went to shit. We stagnated in I mean, a lot of this was to like kind of try to show up the Soviet Union. So a lot of this was actually invested in by like the CIA and stuff. But the arts and wonderful shows, like we really wanted to broadcast in the 80s, like Family Ties and all these like
Mhm.
shows of prosperous families living in huge homes, having
Mhm.
fun, like to just kind of be like, oh, fuck you, Soviet Union. So boomers had this like comfortable thing and they could have kept it going. They could have kept things the same, but they had to do things like Sarbanes-Oxley. They had to start pulling safeguards from investments or you know clearinghouses. So like everything became this insane casino game, and real
Mhm.
estate became an insane casino game, and investments became an insane casino game because they had to just like have a little more, have a little more, have a little more. And
Yeah.
now they're at that age where they're like, oh, I'm good. My house is
Yeah.
$1.8 million.
Yeah.
In this town in SoCal, and
I have a Corvette, which is like the fucking shit of a sports car.
they read him for filth.
Oh, he
Might
doesn't
as well go
actually
with
have
the.
he doesn't actually have a Corvette, but like the folks who have a Corvette and think that it's like a really nice sports car, but it ain't no Ferrari.
Yeah, you're
I mean, don't
like,
get me wrong,
oh, precious.
Corvettes are sexy, but they're not Ferraris.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh my lord, which is just, and it's funny because this type of person is like, God, we're just like shitting on boom, like we've just titled this shitting on boomers. But this type of person I think is the one who's like kind of holding onto the matrix the hardest, because it's
Yeah,
they look around at their shiny objects and they're like, what if it all goes? And then you see
yeah,
Gen Z and
yeah,
millennials and they're like, I was never invited to the party. Like this whole
yeah,
thing can just deflate. And then we look around and then just start anew in terms of like a better, like a real economic framework, not like CBDC or anything like that, which is just the same thing we have now, just like a slightly different form. But just like rethinking how we exist on a planet.
yeah, yeah.
It is crazy that we have a water bill. Like you have to pay to consume
I
water.
know.
It's
I got a
weird.
well.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, yeah, that's nice. Bully for you. I had to pay like 4 grand to install this like insane water filtration system because I'm like, get this get this fluoride out of my mouth.
Right, man. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Have you
yeah,
noticed a difference? Because you got that like a year ago, right?
yeah. I did notice a
Yeah.
significant difference, and it's in every. You don't realize how much
Because it's
water.
your whole home, right?
Whole
Shower,
home.
everything.
Hmm.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's yeah, because water here was amazing, and then it got weird. And then they started adding fluoride to it in like 2020. Like the minute I show up here, and they're like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Stop, stop!"
Uh,
And no, it is. Yeah, I mean, you boil your mac and cheese in it.
yeah. Take a
You drink
shower, brush.
it. Shower. Yeah, it's everywhere. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
um, anyway,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's so funny.
I've
We
so
had no idea. Oh, go ahead.
well, I've been living on well water for a year now, and I fucking love it. We even spent like $200 to get it tested, like really, really, really tested, and so we got a lot of minerals in our water. It's great water we have. And that was one of the most exciting things for me moving out here, as was no longer was being on well water. And now, like when I go to a restaurant or something and I order a glass of water, the taste
Mhm.
of chlorine is so damn strong, dude.
It's like
I'm like,
pool
oh
water.
yeah, like oh fuck, like I can't handle it. And so now I always have to bring my big ass fucking water jug everywhere. So I try not to drink water at any other place. And but still, like I'll drink their coffee or whatever, just because it's flavored now, and it's, whatever. But plain water, it's like it's too obvious for me. I can't do it.
It is funny how when you make slight changes, and there's a shift in how you feel, and the things you thought would be comfortable from before, like maybe like junk food or like a bag of potato chips or whatever, you end up just not missing it. Like you get a little distance from it, and you come back to it. Like Diet Coke to me sounds repulsive now, and I used to live on that shit. I always want something
Oh,
carbonated, like in SoCal, like it's hot, and I'm like, I don't know, I need something bubbly, but like just give me
mm-hmm.
carbonated water. I don't need the weird like flavor concoction you're just like
as
spritzing into it.
aspartamentin or whatever, aspartamate or whatever. Oh,
Aspartame, or
aspartame.
I would pronounce it because I was speaking Spanish for 2 years. Aspartame, so I get a lot of shit for that. Aspartame by Calvin Klein. Um,
Funny.
yeah. Oh my god,
Well, brother, what do you
this
think?
was a good ass time.
That was a great time, man. It was good catching up and talking.
Yeah, we had an opportunity to share, or you had an opportunity to share your expertise with the crowd. Anyone who wants to book a reading with Mario, if you liked it so much that you're just like, give me more, visit his website. It's at Starseed Salsa. Okay, because
Yeah.
he does an incredible Ayurvedic, like dippable, eatable salsa, but also that's his portal for astrological readings. So you can see his calendar, you can book a time, get on his calendar. It's filling up. Good for you. I don't offer readings because I don't know what the fuck I tell people. I just read them for filth. I'm just like, what are you doing with your hair? And they're just like, oh my God. Um,
Uh-huh. Uh,
oh,
yeah,
and
thanks. Yeah, definitely
yeah.
book a reading. My prices are gonna go up soon. I haven't done it yet, but they will. So the sale is over. So that coupon code Aries, the saving $25, that's over. So right now readings are 95, and when I finally get around to changing my prices, which will be soon. Anyways,
Then you're just gonna, yeah, awesome.
yeah,
Well, hey,
that's
pay
it.
what's people see value in dumb shit, and then if they come up to you and they're like, I only want to pay $1, it's like, fuck the fuck off. Like this is you should be so honored to even get like a little bit of FaceTime with Mario.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn right.
So damn, fuck yeah. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I love that I've like spent all these years trying to build you up and then I'm going to have to spend some years like bringing you down. Like
No. No,
you're
it's
going to
good.
walk
It's
in
good.
with like just
That's
like
good.
his
Yeah.
absolute fur and you're like, I'm a fucking
We
god.
we need accountability buddies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Accountability
I'm
buddy.
never going to I'm never going to pull you down. I'm just going to ride the balloon up to the
Or
spaceship.
I
I
mean,
don't know.
we're creators. We're architects. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Anyways,
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
For all the programmers out there, it's like the architects are stepping forth. So thank
Uh huh.
you. You've been, appreciated, but you can step aside. We're stepping out. Tits out.
It's out, baby.
All right. Till next week, sir.
Peace, everybody.
Bye.